I have to make y'all some. I'll have to make y'all some macaroni and cheese. I love cooking.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
And it's just kind of been my therapy.
You know what? I feel like this has definitely pushed me just to be more focused. I've already been very driven, but at the same time, it's like that tunnel vision. Like I am so locked in, and it feels good to be very just focused on my goals, and I'm happy about that.
Awesome. So everybody's kind of, you can follow. You really, if it's anybody that's where I am, you can see them on my social media. So I'm putting something together. We don't know when this will end though.
Exactly.
Right. So because we don't know when it'll end. I said, well, maybe if I get all of this stuff prepared now, maybe in about 2 years we can release it and it'll make sense.
2 years.
Maybe you think 2 years?
I know that seems very realistic.
Time, huh?
But it seems so realistic. Like it's not slowing down at all.
So 2 years, and in 2 years I can release the stuff that I'm working on, and it will make sense as to tell the story about who we are, where we are, how we became who we will be at that time. So y'all have some pictures. Like we be out here sometimes and stuff. We never actually had some. Yeah. Okay then. So for all of our people who are on social media right now, all of us we're in the studio. We are doing our team. So watch us, comment, share the video, and let's get to it. A lot has been happening over the past week. We go from week to week, just kind of watching to see what's going to happen and who's going to say what. And I have noticed that so many people are perishing, like celebrities. I mean, of course, they're around us too, but it seems like every time you watch the news, somebody else that everyone knows or somebody that people have watched, they died, and not always to COVID-19. So I thought about that. I noticed that, and then locally, Officer Guyton, the officer that was a authority figure at UAB,
right?
He was released. Everybody was cheering him on. Yes, he made it out, and UAB affirmed that he was the worst case of COVID that they saw.
Right.
Which is I'm like, well, how do you determine the worst case of COVID? But they say that Officer Guyton was the worst case that they had seen, and he was released, went to rehab, told his story about all of it, and the day that he was released from rehab, the next day he died,
passed away.
Yeah, from complications of COVID. So like that's just really heartbreaking, and just shows you how you really don't know what's next. So many prayers to the Guyton family, the brothers of Nasir Rojo Adenasi, the UAB fraternal order police, but the UAB police department, and just everybody who was watching his story and affected by it. Right. It really shows you that COVID is real.
Yeah.
And we do have to be protected and protective about those that we're around and what we're doing and the behaviors that we are, exhibiting. Like, when we're out and about, are you really taking necessary measures? Like, I thought about it the other day. I am wearing my mask. I am washing my hands, but am I wiping down seats and tables? And I'm not. So I haven't. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, let me start back doing that. And then let me make sure that I'm checking other people. Like, that's something I'm mind checking about. Wear your mask. Okay, I can't talk to you. We did that this weekend. But if you trying to holler at me, you don't have a mask.
We mask, Harold.
Right. Fall back. Girl, give me a hug. Straight. Hey, how you doing? All right, see you
Fist bump.
Yeah, I don't know touch your hand.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah. Hey. So yeah, COVID is still real. So we can chat about that. Marlicia, we were catching up before the show about everything that has been happening, and I'm like, so much happens, and it seems that as if time runs together. So a couple other things that you mentioned were entertainment based. What done happened?
Well, I know that it was a big, big day when Brandy's B7 album dropped. Yay! Then Beyonce's Black is King premiere on Disney.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, it's a lot of greatness happening today. We haven't heard from Brandy in 15 years?
Girl.
Not for real, not an album.
Not an album,
We've
right.
had some singles come out, but not an album. And I did go and listen to the album, and it touched a lot on mental health, surprisingly. It got really, really deep. And I was kind of shocked at her take, but
was it her own personal? Because I haven't listened yet.
I believe it was. It seemed like it was directed towards the things she has been experiencing. But I haven't gone to see if there are any articles about, Brandy coming out about possibly being bipolar or suffering from, this or that.
Okay, and so you don't think she was taking the same approach that Fantasia took with PTSD, which was not about PTSD, it's like post-traumatic sex disorder.
Oh no. No.
Not she's really talking about.
She's really talking about the struggles,
Okay.
In a very creative way.
All right then, Brandy. Shouts out to Aunt, because I think they may be in a relationship or something.
Yeah, I mean, he must be her promoter.
Hey, Aunt. For those of you who don't know that are listening and watching, Aunt is Mr. Washington, who's also a part of the Bible show. He's a super Brandy fan, and he has promoted her album and everything as if he works for the label. So
that's pretty much.
Shout out to him in this time. So you said Beyonce came out with
Black is King.
Which it is. Okay, what does that mean? Or do you know? Do we know what she's meaning by it?
I don't, and I don't want to assume. But
that Black is King.
I'm gonna say literally. I think she's being so literal.
Me too.
Yes,
me too.
I do.
She's letting the people know everything started with us.
Okay, Andy. I like Beyonce. I respect Beyonce. I respect Beyonce.
Yes.
Okay, I respect her.
Okay, Beehive, you heard her.
Yeah, come get me. I respect her hustle. I love her music. There are musics of hers that I love. I think she's an awesome entertainer. She's a great performer. I even like her philanthropic work. But as far as being a part of like this whole craze, this Beehive type situation, that ain't me. Did you all see the which one has to go on Facebook this week? Well, not yet. No. This person so that on social media right now.
I'm on Facebook.
Okay, you are. So yeah, Marlicia, look at Ready Eddie trying to invade on the ladies' night. I let him go.
Okay, Eddie. What's up, Eddie? Hey, Eddie.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey. So when you think about I Am King and Black is King and everything that's happening right now, and Beyonce and just her influence in the culture. That's why I say I respect Beyonce in the culture, because she is definitely a force to be reckoned with. As far as like that thing that everybody, I guess maybe I just don't understand that. I don't know what that's about.
Well, everybody doesn't agree.
Okay.
With how she's approaching African culture. Some people
kind of voodoo-ish.
I don't even think it's that. I know rapper No Name. That was a big thing that came out about her not agreeing with how Beyonce has taken African culture and, in her words, exploited it. The correct quote that she typed on Twitter is, "We love an African aesthetic draped in capitalism. Hope we remember the Black folks on the continent whose daily lives are impacted by U.S. imperialism. If we can uplift the imagery, I hope we can uplift those who will never be able to access it. Black liberation is a global struggle."
Oh, baby, she said that.
But also, there was a young lady who, and I don't know her name, but I love how she made a great point about, it's sad that we tend to, if you want to display Africa or show Africa love, that it's like, stop with the dirt roads and the, it's like, it's not that. And she was like, it's very rich. She said, it's more about, don't display us in that way. Why do you have to give that image?
Right.
But she said, we're way beyond that. So why do we go there with it when it's like, we're just as much, current as America is. So stop with that. And I think that's where people got offended when it came to, stop trying to put Africa in this way. Like, it's just, like I said, it's the dirt roads. It's, people like in poverty, and that's not the case.
Okay, because Africa is definitely rich.
Yeah,
the people there are rich.
And then I guess you think about like what message are you trying to send as an artist when you get into issues and Black issues and cultural issues and history? Like what is your mission? What is your aim? So just from what I've seen, even when Beyonce did Homecoming, that was dope. It was. I think for me, it's just like, okay, Spike Lee, we can say what school Spike Lee went to. So he had, I guess I'm the type of person that I can appreciate your experience when I know that you've really experienced it. Now, I can say Beyonce hadn't experienced Homecoming because most people have, but I kind of think that's what it is for me, and maybe even with Africa. I don't know how many times she's been to Africa, but what if that's her experience? What if she did go to a dirt road?
She's been several times, but visiting and living in the culture is two different things.
There you just said it, and I think that's where the offense comes in, where it's like, look,
Mm-hmm.
how about somebody that been there, done that, and have lived it and experienced it organically can represent us, you know? And I think that's the problem. It's like we understand the intent, but sometimes we can miss it.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's hard to know how to walk the tightrope of cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation. Because even if somebody from that culture helps you figure that out, then it may be still biased to somebody else. You know, every black person don't know how to help every other black person in that situation.
okay.
You know, so I think it's a dynamic where you can't make everybody happy regardless of what you do. Um, so I understand why people might not like it, but I also understand why people might love it also.
Whatever your platform is.
Right. And then I heard people talking about the celebrity silence on this issue.
I mean, but what are they supposed to say?
Yeah.
So two things. As you were talking about black women being protected, another black man popped in on the ladies' first show tonight. Hey, Sir Said.
Hey.
And then the other part of that, I think just speaking to the idea that people find reasons to have something negative to say or find reasons to make some type of controversy about stuff. Like we are all quarantined. Some of us are getting out, some of us are doing things. But in the grand scheme of things, like life is still life for everybody. Like, yeah, she was shot in the feet by the dude that apparently she has something with. Apparently.
Yeah.
So just all of this to tie into social media because I just have a feeling that somebody's like, I'm not sure what they're talking about. We're talking about how pop culture crosses into everyday, like this is everyday life for them. It's everyday life for those that are, entertainers. We live their entertainment. We live their fun. So like while we're here doing our thing and just kind of going through the motions of the quarantine and coronavirus, they're actually living and we're watching it. So from Beyonce to Meg the Stallion to the family of John Lewis to everybody that's living out in the spotlight, they're living. We're living along with them. So that's what that's about. Anything else happened this week? Ready, Eddie? What you ready with? What has happened? Like what has happened from your vantage point?
Um, I don't know if y'all keeping up with the Epstein stuff, but some documents were released and unsealed that implicated some people that are like Alan Dershowitz. He's a professor and he was on Trump's legal defense team. He's
Yep.
implicated in having sex with a minor in that. That was big. Trump
President.
came out. President Trump came out talking about. I don't remember the tweet, but he was implicating that if you live in the suburbs, you don't have to worry about low income housing coming in into your communities and taking down your property value. So basically, a overtly racist dog whistle
Mm-hmm.
from the president. And them kind of been the highlights of my day. I just been reading up on all of this stuff pertaining to what legislation he was talking about. Um, and basically, uh, the Fair Housing Act that was passed in the 60s was about uh, landlords and housing developments not discriminating on tenants. And the legislation that Obama passed extended that to the actual government. Like your local government can't discriminate on you for that. And so because of that, the state was responsible for making sure that discrimination wasn't happening on that level. But rolling that back means that it can go back to the landlords and the homeowners, and it was not even regulated when that was the case. And so that's kind of what he's talking about. But it's just problematic. He's getting really desperate at how he reaches his base.
Yeah, he's problematic. And
Yeah.
when you talk about reaching your base, like once again, it speaks to the use of your platform, the power of your platform. So, we talked the other show the other week about how Donald Trump even became the man that he is. And I know like everybody's having these conversations because this is the day and age that we live in where this is our reality. We have a whole nut job as the president. He's the leader of the United States of America. And he says things that are very, very harmful to society. He says things that basically express his true feelings about different groups of people. And he alludes to more problematic plans. Like these are plans for him to cause problems. And a big part of our job with all of that is to keep people educated on what's real. What's real is that you do have the power to vote. Vital Votes is very much active. Like you said earlier, Woke Vote is very much active. Other organizations, Birmingham Urban League, said they're doing work. We have to get him out. Period. Got to get him out. Well, but Biden ain't no better. I can't imagine that. I mean, my baby can run for president and do a better job.
Right. And my whole thing is Biden has political experience.
Experience.
You know,
Okay, so that means something,
that
right?
means something. That means something.
He served as our vice president. And I think that he would listen to advisors. I think that he would be just a little more responsible
Right.
with what's real and how people are being affected by it. So this whole coronavirus thing with the president and the money and the House and the Senate and the testing and the mask and then people that are around him getting coronavirus and he's still not alluding to it. So guess what? This week Herman Cain passed from COVID-19.
Yes, he did.
Herman, and I'm not, I know a lot of people feel like that's a jokey type of thing. It's not a joke at all. Like, for one, life was lost, and it was lost at the expense of politics, in my opinion. Eddie, have you been seeing that before I jump in on him?
Have I been seeing the jokes?
Well, the story, just the whole, like the whole.
Yeah. I mean, he's been an active and vocal,
Black
mask denier and COVID denier, and even to the point of just being at rallies and being open without a mask. And this is the reality. And I think that this is a situation where all of the people that's coming out that's ending up with COVID, as far as leadership goes, are Republicans, because they are the ones that have this long-standing beef with accepting that there's a virus that's out here that can be resolved if we wear masks. Or Democrats, at least Democrat leadership, if for nothing else, is to look like they, playing the role of responsibility. We're not hearing this about them in those quantities, because we're hearing about them social distancing. We're hearing about them quarantining. They're actually the ones that's passing legislation to do things like close down bars, to do things like not have school open, and Republicans are advocating for things that do the opposite. So it's not. He's just another person on a long line of Republicans that got COVID, and unfortunately, it took him under. I hate that it's the African American gentleman that happened to be the one.
Right.
When we talk about like how it impacts the Black population disproportionately, we see it firsthand now. With him, you know.
And I just like, I guess, seeing what happened to him, and then seeing the president express his condolences and issues with it. He really tooted his horn about Herman Cain. This is my great friend. He didn't say that he died from COVID. He didn't mention that at all. But he just talked about how great of a man he was. He didn't even acknowledge He didn't even acknowledge John Lewis at all. And this is somebody that everybody was celebrating. Former President Obama spoke. And I mean, just an awesome thing. My parents are in the parking lot. Bye, guys. They wanted to treat it like a drive-in. They drove in and listened to the show. Happy to have you. But he doesn't acknowledge people that disagree with him, or that don't stand for what he stands for. But with Herman Cain being a Black for Trump, he spoke highly of him. So I noticed that this week. I'm learning. Like, when people rock with you, they rock with you. Like, when they don't, they don't. You don't even, your life doesn't even matter. Like, I'm not gonna salute him. I'm not gonna celebrate him, but I'm gonna make this tweet about the other Black guy that was on my team.
Right.
Interesting. Guys, we're gonna take a break. For all of you on social media, we're gonna stay live with you guys. But on air, we're gonna go pay some bills. We'll be right back with more Vital, Operation Motivation, Ready, Eddie. And we're gonna take a moment with Steen. All of that and more in the second half of our hour. We're only gonna do an hour tonight. We'll be right back. We will be right back. Okay. Hey guys. So we're gonna stay with you all. If you can hear me, let's see. Can you hear me?
What's going on with this? Why is mine not? It got this little voice.
I don't know how to
Is
control your
everything muted?
volume.
My volume is right here,
Oh.
but it's still like it's very low. Okay. So is yours? Oh, but you're not on your phone.
When I watch something.
I mean, I can't. But is it bothering anything? I mean, like, you're not hearing any kind of feedback or something, because it is like this low voice. I'm like, oh, can I hear it on the radio?
I heard it.
At first, when your volume was fully up.
Yeah,
but now.
All right, I got it all the way down.
Eddie, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but you low when you ain't in front of the mic. I can hear I can hear everybody else though.
Sorry. Okay, what you say?
I can hear everybody.
Okay. Yeah. So
I can't hear you now.
You can't, because I'm not by the mic. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna go to my phone and look and see if we had any comments, but I can't because I need a new phone.
no.
Cool.
Yeah, every
Great.
time I go to Facebook, it just goes off.
I was just telling my friend
Oh.
the other day. I said, I swear, I feel like our phones have this time limit. Like, time to upgrade.
Yeah.
Like, more money.
Mine is too.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's no comments. It ain't that many people on. It's like 5 people.
Where y'all
But
at?
I don't know. This is abnormal. It make me think something wrong.
Maybe I don't know. Like, well, I know that's one.
You're
Oh, it's on
live.
now. Yeah, it just showed up. So I hadn't had. Well, it just went off again. I hadn't had a chance to share to any groups or anything. All right.
I'm thinking because you streaming from your new page.
You're sharing for your new page.
That's my regular page.
This your regular page.
Yeah. I ain't mad. I can't even see it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Lord, I done left the doggone.
Yeah. Sir said she's streaming to multiple pages. Have y'all shared it on your pages? Sir said.
Oh, she's streaming to multiple pages.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Sharing
streaming
it.
to
Well,
multiple
usually
pages.
when
Said.
you usually when it's shared with me, it says it's shared from V94, but it ain't do that today.
Oh.
It tagged me from your page when it normally tagged me from the radio station.
Ow.
So
Oh, so
I
yeah,
don't know
all
what the
was well.
variable is in that.
It's okay. All was well.
Um, Acer said,
Hey, Peanut. Peanut said someone needs Verizon. Verizon.
I got Verizon.
Really?
I did too. That's who I'm with.
Really?
And we're
Mm.
good.
I didn't know
We're
It's
people
good
just
had
in the
Verizon.
hood.
expensive.
Did y'all get that free Disney Plus?
Uh, who you got? Who you got, Eddie?
T-Mobile.
Oh.
I think it's the phone.
She said it like a bougie person. Oh.
Oh.
I think it's the iPhone. I think that's what they're talking about.
I've been with T-Mobile since they were PowerTel.
Me
Well,
too.
time limit is up.
Since high school.
No, Samsung does the same thing. It's like acting a fool.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
Let go.
Eddie, we coming straight to you, okay? If you got some. You ready?
Who? Me?
Ready, Eddie?
No, I ain't got none.
Oh, what?
Oh yeah, I had family drama before they started up. That's why I was late.
And well, we're back. All right, then. You're listening to Vital right here on B94.9. I am Lady Wu. The crew is in the building. The ladies are in studio.
Yes.
Hey, ladies. I got my guys on the virtual or in the virtual studio. Ready, Eddie? Sir said producing. Thanks a lot. So we are here and just kind of rapping about things that have happened in the week. This week, it was rather calm. It wasn't one of
Mhm.
those like high energy in difficult weeks for people. I think this is one of those weeks where we were able to breathe a little bit and just take things for what they are. Now, I don't know. We don't know what's to come in any other week. We just kind of go with the
Right.
flow as we've been doing throughout COVID-19. So that's kind of what tonight's show represents. The ladies are back in studio for the first time in a long time, and we're just happy to be here,
Yes.
and happy for you guys to see us here. Okay, so I'm happy to have them in. Got a couple ladies that aren't like the core ladies that aren't. Shouts out to Jeter and Shield,
Hey,
both of the
ladies.
Courtneys.
Hi, we miss you.
Yeah, but yeah, we holding it down. And yeah, that's what it is. Shouts out to Jermaine, Kiana, and Kawanis. All my peoples that I see on the live. And then yeah, we had a drive-in studio as well. So awesome. Very great. So we talked about anything that you want to mention in the first half. Feel free to comment in the comments that I can't see because I need you guys that work at Verizon to get me on. I guess that's what I'm hearing is like I might need to switch. So if that's you, I want to keep my phone number, but yeah, put me on.
Okay.
Um, Operation Motivation with the marvelous Marlicia. We haven't heard this in a minute, so I'm ready to hear and be motivated.
Come on.
What you guys say?
On today's Operation Motivation, I want to motivate us all to prepare and pivot. This is a time that we all need to just breathe and embrace the inevitability of change. One thing is for certain, none of us expected 2020 to be quite like this. However, I believe that this year we have been forced to sit down and put things in perspective for a reason. Now, that reason may not be clear to everyone right now, but the clarity is coming, and being prepared to pivot is very, very vital.
Mm,
Let's face it, life as we knew it is over. This is the new America where face masks and sanitation are just as essential as our beloved essential workers. Lines are longer and patience is thinner. But do not fret, help is on the way. I'm not talking about a rescue squad, I am talking about self help.
This is the time to help yourself understand that we are now in a time that requires more of us individually to help eradicate a virus that is plaguing our world and effect change in an unjust system that is pushing an agenda of racism. It is time for us to learn patience and strategy so that when the next change comes, we are ready to pivot instead of complain. Many of our vacations have been canceled, and access to outside extracurricular activities have been halted. You can look at this as a negative or view it as an opportunity to pivot in your finances by saving, investing, or paying off debt with the money you would have spent. Or maybe you could create your own family and friend fun by having a small game night at home or create a water park in your front yard with the new adult slip and slide thing going on. These are just a few examples of how to properly pivot when the inevitability of change strikes. Many of us are getting in shape by exercising more and eating better because that quarantine 15 manifested quickly. And I see new businesses budding and creatives creating. You can't tell me this is not a huge and inconvenient change, but it has had a major positive impact. So I saw an uprising like never before against systemic racism, and we cannot lose that momentum. We pivoted in moments when we could have chosen to shrink and just say this is just the way the world is right
Mm.
now. So let me ask you, will you prepare and pivot or will you punk out and complain?
Ow. She said that. Look at it. Ooh. Yeah, you remember your money with it? Operation motivation. That's a great return, Alicia. So I heard a lot in that, whereas to motivating people to take advantage of this moment.
Hmm.
And we've been discussing that as well. This has been a time where we've been able to, like, people are making more money now than they've ever made in their lives.
Absolutely.
They may not see it collectively, but I see it happening. Like, people are banking, they are investing, they are opening businesses, buying houses. Their side hustles are becoming their main streams of income. People are writing books, making I'm like, wow. So
Hmm.
everything is happening. And what you said, by you reaching inside of you, taking care of you, you being that cure, you being that great black hope that's gonna save you in this moment. I am with it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Yeah. So in order to be able to motivate you and be that great motivation for yourself, you may need some other tools too. So we got you some tips with the operation motivation. Now we're gonna get in it with Sting. Let's talk about things from an inside out perspective. So what you guys think?
So I've been pondering, right?
Okay. Okay.
So I
Hmm.
have really been thinking about with everything that's going on, especially with the pandemic. I think about, has social media caused us to be less social?
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean like as far as having that organic connection, like
Hmm.
really being able to just have good conversation,
Hmm.
quality time. So some things I think about as far as while we're in these times, I understand we love our phones, we got Facebook, Instagram, all of those things. How about those times when we can really just sit at that kitchen table, put
Hmm.
the phones up, and
Hmm.
just really be able to talk to your kids, talk to your spouse or your mate or your companion and be able to have that quality time.
Hmm.
And not everything is captured on a screenshot or there has to be some kind of post about it. It's just like I just want
Just
to
be in the
enjoy
moment.
you
Hmm.
and be truly in the moment.
Hmm.
And let's create some dope memories together where it's not about the world had to see it, but you had a chance to experience it. So that's one thing. And then for me, I also see where
A question. Keep going.
there is a false perception when it comes to when people post. And I feel like they can post all day and it's like it can be funny, it can be humorous, it can be full of light. And people can look at that and think that, man, that person's in such a great spot. And we miss it because
Hmm.
that person can be in absolute darkness and depression.
Mm.
Hmm.
But now I can speak personally. I have unplugged for, and it's been a month now. I have unplugged from social media, and people have been hitting me up like crazy, like, "Are you okay?" And I am like, I am so happy.
Like social
Yeah.
media
Like,
is the gauge for being
right?
Yeah.
Like
okay.
I am. This is the happiest I've been, and it's just like it's so weird that we connect the two as if I'm not posting, if I'm not sharing my every move, you think something's wrong,
Yeah.
and that's crazy to me
Yeah.
because now I am amazing, but when I was posting and it was a joke every other minute, and I was the light, I was going through some dark times.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Mhm.
I feel like we have to be careful with that. Don't judge or look at social media as if that is really that person's reality. Because now that I am off of social
Ooh,
media and
wee.
unplugged, I feel so wonderful. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
having the organic conversations and the moments and creating the dope memories, and I am good.
Yeah.
So please be careful with that and make sure that you're creating genuine, organic times with your loved ones and your friends. And it's not just the latest post or I got to one up somebody else. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure that is genuine.
Love it. I'm over here motivated. I'm optimistic based on what my sisters have said. So nothing that we haven't been sharing throughout this time, but it just seems like at this point, like now everybody's needing that boost. We need a reminder
Right.
Mm-hmm.
that, like, okay, y'all. So we still, it's still going on. I think a lot of people felt like, you know, it'll probably be over in like 3 months.
By
You know,
now,
we'll be good.
Right,
It's
right.
gonna
We're
go
gonna
we
be
thought it
away.
was
good.
going
We're
to
gonna
be
be
over
good.
now in
No,
August.
Nah,
no.
see. So like,
Nah.
nah. So this show is that like uptick for your energy, for your optimism, for your self-esteem, for your creativity, for your emotional well-being, for your mental health, all of that. Like this is that show. Um you said something about when people post on social media and like what kind of validation that brings. Like, well, y'all be out all the time. Why you don't call me? But you don't, I mean, if you don't post me, people don't even know I'm a part of your world. Oh, social media as the gauge for life.
Talk about it.
And it
What
shouldn't be.
happened? Like what happened to us? Just because I'm not posting doesn't mean that I'm not breathing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I want to. I don't know. Let's have that conversation. Eddie, you look eager.
Come on.
Yeah, I think what depression looks like is withdrawing yourself from people, generally speaking.
Okay.
And so while, like, just to use Christine's example, while you were on social media, you were using that mask, to for people not to think that you were going through something that you were
Come
going
on,
through.
Eddie.
So it's
Okay.
Right.
kind of like so whether it's because you were actually not involved with people, or they thought you were withdrawn because of that. Like, you not being present to some people may look like a call out for help, or I need to talk to you,
Yeah.
but it sounds like the people called you with the idea that you must be going through something because of this, versus them reaching out and inquiring as to what you may be going through or what your experience is. And so I
Yeah.
do understand the connection you make, in terms of people just assuming that because you're not there. So I think it becomes, when you feel somebody that's backing away, they could be withdrawn because of social media, or because of depression, but they also could be taking time they need for their own self care. You
Absolutely.
know, and so
Right.
I think it is about how we engage with people who we think may be having an experience. Let's not assume that they struggling. Let's inquire, and let them tell us their story, rather than assuming because of social media.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would have to say the same thing for business owners.
Yeah.
Just because you own a business or a brand does not mean that you don't sometimes need to take a step away.
Hmm.
And I had another business owner say, "Oh, you still do makeup? You don't post on social media regularly." And I'm just
Cause I'm
like,
doing makeup, my hands be tied up
right.
too.
I'm like, I got a website. It's like the things that should be relevant aren't relevant. And I'm like, I can't constantly post everything. Like, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Why I can't post everything? Because I'm doing everything.
And that's the thing. Like my hands
Come
are
on.
literally tied doing what it is that you expect me to do. I know like a lot of people, a friend another friend of mine and I would be like, girl, yeah, he was on Facebook crying out. Like and that was what we would use. Like that's what we would say in the moments that this particular person would get on Facebook and make these statuses about like his relationship. Like, basically like talking
Right.
directly to her, but he on there crying out today. I gonna comment. It was that type of thing as opposed, and this was before I was a professional in the field of mental health. Disclaimer. But
Noted.
I was be like, I finally reached out. I was like, I saw you crying out. Like I used those words to him. Oh, saw you on there crying out. What's up? He was like, well, I mean, that's the only time that I can get her to listen. Mm.
Oh.
I said, you know what? I apologize because I wasn't making light of it, but like if that's their relationship and that was the opportunity that he felt that he had to communicate with her. He took advantage of the opportunity and
Mhm.
appreciated me finally not just having the conversation with her and asking him like, okay, so you on here crying out, what's up? i'm,
Mhm.
Right.
I'm listening.
But that also, and I don't know nothing about these folks, but also that sounds just like the whole, but you didn't make it public, so it doesn't matter. It's like, because you just said keywords like, this is the only way I can get her attention or to get her to
Hmm.
respond. It's like, because he went public with it, what happened to our privacy
Privacy.
and that intimacy of the
Ah,
world not knowing?
the world has to
Mhm.
Ugh,
know because that's what makes it
and
real.
Real.
that's so sad
Duh.
to me.
Yeah.
Like you can have a whole amazing world going on, and I don't need to broadcast it on social media for you to criticize and judge and laugh or whatever else they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's just like, this is me and mine, and this is something I want to. And it's not just about relationship. It can
It's
be
about everything.
everything. Whatever you're striving for does not have to be broadcasted for somebody to critique. And we've got so caught up in that, is
Mhm.
why I had to unplug and say, let me live my genuine, awesome, dope life
Mhm.
Mhm.
for real and not worry about a like, a comment, and just be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Like genuinely
definitely
happy.
feel that. I can
So
definitely feel that.
I think one
I,
of the and I think oh my bad, you can have my list.
Go ahead. Go
come on,
ahead, Eddie.
Eddie.
I was saying I think one of the problems is that a lot of it is us because a lot of times this is going in the opposite direction. We the same representatives on Facebook that we be in the new relationships on Facebook. Like
Ooh.
you
Huh.
scroll through your pictures and get the perfect picture and put that perfect picture. And after people see 20 perfect pictures, and they see you, in Walmart with your joggers on, they be like, "Oh, what's going on?" Or we only post the positive statuses and the things that all this motivation. And so when they see us and we got to have a real conversation with them, like it's a contrast between what we portray ourselves to be online versus what we actually are in reality. Now, I'm not saying that means that you should put your stuff out there. I think that some people do use it as a tool, like the dude that Wu was talking about. The symptom of that situation is his inability to communicate in person, and so he feels like he got to communicate passively to get a message out to his lady. you know, and it's
Right.
the same thing for those people who do that. But I mean, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to how you maintain the balance between I'm making my life look too good so that people think that I'm supposed to be perfect versus I ain't putting all my business out there so that I can maintain some of my privacy. I
No.
don't really know the answer, but I know it's a
But
that's
what's so dope, you got three ladies right here that don't do that. Like I can vouch for myself. I put, now y'all all my Facebook friends. I have put
The good, the
the
bad, and
The
the
good, the
most
ugly.
bad, and the
stank
ugly.
stuff up there. You know what I
Yeah.
Okay.
mean? Like I can come all the way with, you gonna get my glam shot and you gonna get me waking up like, oh my God, I got gas today. Like it's like that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I can be that. But there is still this weird pressure of what's next from Christine. There still is a pressure,
Mhm.
regardless of how transparent and real you so called might be.
Mhm.
It still is a, I want to see what's next. And it's
It's
weird where
like, can I
that's what
just
I had
be?
to unplug from. Where it was
Mhm.
like, I'm tired trying to or feel like I gotta one up
Mhm.
the last thing I've done. I don't want to feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to one yourself up to stay
Right.
to
I'm
stay
like,
relevant.
so that I gotta.
But we've created that culture. That's what we are. Like everybody
Exactly.
wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody's a brand. Everybody's so
Can we
Yeah.
return it?
Mm, hmm.
Mm.
No. Mental
Ah,
health is so positive, so everything has to be us looking happy. Because if I do something different, then I'm gonna have to
right.
tell that story.
Story
I
as
gotta write
well.
the album that Brandy wrote. I gotta get on there and cry out about getting shot in the foot by Tory Lanez. Like this,
Right. Like,
Okay.
yeah. If their lives are our entertainment, when their true lives happen and they start to get offended by it, then we start having conversations like this.
right.
Yes.
There, that's the end of the show. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
This is our TED
I
talk.
mean, that's it. That's it. Like so
For real.
we are our own monsters that we've created, but then when we have to resort to real life, we just admitted that it's difficult to do that.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's still difficult to do that.
Mhm. I
Well,
had happened to ask somebody yesterday. I was somewhere. I said, "Do you have to put everything on live?" And I said, "You need to
mm.
ask yourself, should I live this or should I live this?"
Ooh.
That girl snap. Let me get her the origin. Should I live this or should I live this?
Because we are not living. We are so busy trying to show everybody that we're not even taking in the moments.
I agree.
And I'm like, don't put me on no live.
Yes.
Don't put me on no live.
Honey.
I said, don't put me on no
No
live.
live, honey.
I'm trying to live out here in these streets.
Come on, child.
Woo. A word from the marvelous Marlicia on this beautiful Sunday evening. So know when it needs to be lived and when it needs to be lived. That is an amazing word.
Good.
As we near the end of this great show tonight, because we're doing an hour, I did get a comment, you guys.
What they said.
Let's see. It's about COVID and just about people. It was about that part of the conversation. You know, we take our comments at any point. This one says, why is it that you can't find any Lysol in the stores? I can't see people buying it up because the only place you can spray is in your house. It doesn't keep the people in your house from contracting it from someplace and bringing it home. So where is it? I need one can.
Employees got it.
Oh,
Ooh. Ooh. Oh.
They got it.
I got it.
hoarders, collectors.
Right.
Like that's something that I haven't gotten into. So like, whereas we would do tissue, we would do
Mhm.
detergent, we would do other stuff. I guess just knowing that people need it. Like
Yeah.
I can only use a can or two.
That's what I'm not understanding. I'm seeing people posting 20 cans of Lysol.
Like, come on.
I
now.
can't even get two, you know?
All the wipes, all the Lysol.
And I'm like, y'all do know this stuff will expire if it's not used right.
oh,
It will.
And we're not spraying like that.
Yeah.
they may like maybe the first month, but like here we are
Mhm.
giving this pep talk in August, the first day of August, just re-preparing people for what's to come, which is something that we don't know. So maybe it's that, I don't want to be stuck without it again like I was last time. But you're saying it has a shelf life.
Yes. I think it's a year.
Oh, I better get to spraying. Or the boxes that the churches were giving out. So that was a big thing at first.
Right.
Lines wrapped all around the world for a box of produce. Now you can't even get people to pick it up.
Right.
So like,
it's only so like zucchini dishes I can do.
Right. Right. It's a lot of zucchini, a lot of apples, a lot of onions.
apples, onions,
Potatoes.
I'm potatoed
Potatoes.
out.
Oh. So yeah, so where are we? You know what I mean? Like this further brings us to where are we? Like, do we store it under the ground and save it for like when we get in these bumps? What's next? What do we think is next?
Oh,
We don't know.
I
what's
don't
next,
know.
And that's what's scary.
it's been so unpredictable this year. Like, even your prediction is unpredictable. Like, you don't know
right
what to
because
say.
we predicted August we could breathe. We'll be able to
Right.
go back to
Start
normal. It is
traveling for
August.
real. And
We are not there.
Hello.
No. I don't predict that they will shut the economy back down.
Oh no, they just gonna let people
Nah.
keep dying.
Yeah.
And then people will say, okay, we're going to have to figure this thing out. So children aren't going back to school. I think most school systems at this point have made the decision that at least the first 9 weeks will be virtual learning.
Right.
Right.
I think that decision has been made. I think that's awesome because I also heard that how many children, 200 something students at a summer camp in LA, I think. Not Lower Alabama, not left Atlanta. I want to say it was Los Angeles, I think.
Okay.
All contracted COVID at camp and they had to close it down. Then I saw where a school opened and they had to shut. One student was positive. They had to shut the school down on the first day. So they tried to do like a middle, like a soft opening. Had to shut it back down.
And I don't want to call the university out there, but I received the email and they were saying, although they would love to go into this year with like hybrid courses or whatever, there is a chance of everything being online. Like
It's
So-
really prompting me to go ahead and get prepared to walk back across the stage. We were having a conversation like, why not?
Right.
If it's online, I mean, I just had to take some
That,
medicine and pay attention.
that camp was in Georgia,
okay.
See, ready.
and
It was-
that and they showed that the camp was not following protocol with a lot of different things as it pertains to it. And it's not surprising because while we have the Atlanta mayor trying to get masks required, we got Governor Kemp saying, nah, we're not going to do that. Matter of fact, we're going to actually, sue the mayor of Atlanta for trying to institute that. So when you got top-down leadership saying it's not important, and then you got a summer camp what are the odds that the leadership at the camp gonna take it as seriously as they need to? Like,
Was it a
what?
Republican camp?
I don't know if it's a Republican camp, but I'm pretty sure some of them counselors, Republican.
I mean, 'cause it seems that like the Republicans are not doing they're not following the rules. Oh boy. 200 children. How many? What's the number?
200.
Is it?
It was around 200.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's
that's a
nuts.
lot.
But it's also giving a lot of data as to how quickly kids can catch it and how fast that can transfer to adults. And so, I mean, this might be another moment where we look again at schools because 200 kids getting it means that
It's
it
possible.
can spread through kids fast. And so, as it pertains to school, we got to ask the question now: what does it look like when kids come back home to mama, daddy, aunt, uncle,
Grandparents.
parents, great aunts, great uncles, all of these people that they're going to engage with, family reunions, barbecues, hikes, whatever they do, birthday parties, those little, even those little small events that you get together at. And, but you got adults there, people who are at risk of catching it and having to end up in the hospital. I
Right.
don't know what you do with that.
Well, I have a student. I was just trying to see did she want to talk. No, Carmen.
That's a hard
No.
no.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I don't know. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Just wanted to give you a quick pep talk. Get you ready for the next. This is not even the quarterly conversation about COVID. This is just like one of those in between moments where some healthy people decided to get together and have a healthy conversation about life and about COVID and about what's next. And what's next, we don't know. We don't know what one day from the next is. We don't know what the next minute holds. But all I say is live life to the fullest. Be safe. Be careful. Be smart. And I see a comment on the status that says, if you need Lysol, call Blue. Awesome.
My boy. Okay.
Call
Coming to
Blue.
pick that up tonight.
Yeah, so we'll be stopping by Blue's house to get some Lysol. And I can show you how
The
to make
plug.
wipes. So that's pretty decent. Okay. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
Nah.
I agree with you as far as let's take it seriously. You're speaking like to people who have been tested,
Yeah.
experienced it as far as like the possibility of being exposed and that, being scared, like, okay, let me make sure I'm straight and my folks are straight. So
Right.
take it seriously. Take care of
Right.
you and your folks.
So if I say I'm just gonna stop by and drop this in your mailbox, don't get mad. Like don't be offended by that.
Right.
Or like when
Right.
I
Safety
say
first for
or like
real.
when I tell you, hey, you need to put that mask over your nose and mouth, not under your chin. That
Right.
serves no
Stop
purpose.
sagging.
Right. Put on your face, Harold.
Come on.
All right, everyone. When you see us in the streets, be sure to speak, blow the horn, take a picture, and send it to us. Follow us on all social media at Vital Show.
Hey.
If you follow us, then you can find everybody else everywhere else. So I'm so glad to have you ladies in studio. Hopefully next week we can do it again some
Yeah,
kind of way.
absolutely.
Have a blessed week, guys. Talk to you next Sunday right here on V94.9 at 7 p.m. Bye bye.
Boy.
That was
Bye,
good.
everyone. Awesome show tonight. Thanks for the pointless and maybe come forward 1 hour on the first
Can't
day.
hear you, Woo.
Just give us. All right, guys. Have a good night. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing if you did.